Hey guys, and welcome to episode 16 of Zerganan's 1.5 Feed the Beast Season 1 Let's Play. That's quite a bit to say. Um, Today, we're going to do some research into Thaumcraft and start getting some stuff we can actually use. I mean, a cauldron's nice, and, the Thaumonomicon shows us lots of cool stuff. But, let me show you how to actually research and that way you can make items. And so we have our crucible. Now what we're going to need is we're going to need some paper, and I'll show you guys how to do research. So a good thing to start with is going to be if you shift over items, you can see which aspects are on them. You can see this one's fire. I believe that's potentia, which is more like power or work, and then earth. Here we have I think it's machinima, I don't know, machima, and then potentia. So what we want to do is we need to find combinations that create things, right? Well, a good way to start is with a little bit of glow. I don't want just one. Let's get half a stack. A little bit of glowstone, a little bit of coal, and some redstone. That's a good way to get started, because that's going to be basically your first. And my wand is recharging, which is good. That's going to be one of your first things that you're going to be learning. So we put the paper in here, so that way our research notes come out here, and we'll go ahead and research the aspects. Yeah, machina, mechanism, machine, or device, potentia. That was right. What we'll do is we're going to research these and see if we can find anything new about them. There's two different ways to do this. Cursory, which means that we have the potential to lose some redstone, but we also have the potential to gain a little bit of knowledge. The other way is thorough, right? Which basically means we're going to take this redstone and we're going to thoroughly examine it to the point to where we guaranteed broke it. It's no longer redstone, right? It's basically we took it down to the molecular level or whatever. So when I click to research, it will guaranteed use one up, but I have a higher percentage chance of learning something new. I have a lot of redstone, and when I normally have a lot of something, then I don't mind being thorough, because you have a better chance of learning something about it. So now we have research notes. It's an unknown theory. You can see you can't really read anything about it. And we have one element that we know is going to be in it, right? Now, this is a question mark because we don't know what that element is, right? But since I just put one redstone in here and researched it, we know this is going to be one of these two, right? Because that's what we started researching. It has to be one of the things on the redstone. And it looks like it's the potentia. So we're going to learn a little bit about the potentia. And when it hits the edge and it starts glowing like this, that's when you know it's done. You can also mouse over it and see it's 100% complete. So now we know, because we've gotten to a certain percentage, we know we're making nitor, which is at 40%. And we still don't know a lot about it. We just know it's called nitor. So I'm going to try. Now, to make nitor, we have to find what elements are in it. Does that make sense? You have to match up the elements that make up nitor. So we already know potentia's in it, right? So now, if I research, I'm betting that fire or earth, the saxum or ignis, are in it. So let's see. So that popped up. So that means there's another element for nitor in coal that wasn't in redstone. So it means it's either one of these. So let's find out. So now we know ignis is in it. So let's go ahead and do a little bit more research, and now Ignis is done. And you can see here the Saxum went gray. That means that we know without a doubt it's not in it. But where did this come from? Well, when you hit a certain percentage, it will show you all of the number of elements that are in one item. At this case, we have learned enough that we can get a little bit of information. So this glowing flame seems to be fueled by magic itself. The number of uses over an ever-burning flame seem endless, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to produce much heat, though it could prove to be a steady source of light and energy. Well, that kind of helps, because we know power, energy, right? So there we go. We know it can be a form of energy. It burns. It's fire, heat, burns, light. Well, so we know it could, basically it can burn, right? The flame, ever-burning flame, seems endless. There's also light. Now, granted, light's on here, but light's on one thing that we have not looked at yet. Lux. Light, brightness, and day. Now, I already know what's in Nitor. I'm just kind of going through it and explaining it for anybody that may not have done Thaumcraft. So we know Nitor's in it. We're at 60%. So let's get... There we go. We hit 100%. And there's no more aspects in it. It's just these three elements. So if we're going to make Nitor, which we've learned it, and now we just have to put it into our book. And I'll show you, here's our Thaumanomicon, right? And we don't know anything, right? There's nothing. We can't read anything. Now watch. We have our Nitor, and you can read the same thing here that was on that first page, and we learned it. So now if we go to our Thaumanomicon, now we have Nitor. Eternal Flame research complete. And basically this tells you a little bit more about it. It tells you that it can also be placed in the world to act as a magical light source, which I do plan on changing the lights in here. So let's go ahead and make some Nitor. So we need 4 Ignis, 6 Lux, and 4 Potentia. Okay. So let's see. There's 2 and 2. Okay, so we want... So that would be 4 Ignis and 4 Potentia. Now, granted, it's going to get us 2 of the Earth, but it's not going to create any other waste besides those 2. And you want to cut down on how much waste you have, because the waste will go into the environment and cause what's called flux, and flux is a bad thing. It can cause wisps to spawn. It can cause things to happen in your world. So you want to keep it to a minimum. And I'll get a little bit more into that later. So we have our 4 fire and 4 potentia, and we need 6 of the light. So let's go ahead and do 2 of those. Okay, so we have our crucible here, but we're missing one crucial thing: water. And it's nighttime. So let me grab some water. And I will set up an infinite source up here. Okay, so we have that filled now. I'm gonna give it a second, it'll start to bubble. That's when we know it's hot enough and everything's working. There we go, see? And don't stand in it, it will hurt you. But I will show a benefit to that a little bit later. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and throw the coal in, and then we'll throw the 2 glowstone. Okay, so now we should be able to whack it with a wand, and there we go. We got our Nitor right here. So one of the cool things about Nitor, just like it said in the Thaumanomicon, we can use it as a light source. That's cool. And that's what I'm going to be changing all of the lights here in our magical tower to. Make sure that there's no way mobs can spawn. Yep, looks good. So we're going to change all of the lights to Nitor. That's cool. That's really cool. Okay guys, I went ahead and changed up all the lights. Now those all look cool, right? That looks really cool. It's all over. I changed all of them. Right, so... Oh. Okay, maybe I missed one. Let's... I went ahead and put them in this chest. Remember, that's why I built this chest. I also moved our research table down here. The reason is I was thinking about it. I think I might make this kind of library, like a research area kind of library. And then the second floor here, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and keep the cauldron here. I'm going to move this. This was just temporary. I'm going to keep the cauldron here. And I think what I'm going to do is make this sort of an alchemy lab slash, you know, use my cauldron. And I'm hoping that this is close enough. For anybody that does Thaumcraft and is probably thinking it, I'm hoping this is close enough or will be able to work for my arcane work table being right here. So let's go ahead and throw that one up there. There we go. So now nothing should be able to spawn. And then I'll have all my essences spread around there. So what I was doing is I was doing a little bit of research, and I came across this here gaseous glowstone. Right. The file contains a concentrated extract of gaseous glowstone that can be released through a right click and will spread relatively fast. So we know we have some Nitor. We can get some glowstone. What are these? Glass files. Well, let's go back here. Glass files. Clay. Glass, glass, glass. In a workbench. That's easy enough. In an infusion altar. Well, I don't have an infusion altar. Okay, so let's see if we can get to an infusion altar. And I'll show you guys how to research things that you don't know. Nitor, I knew the recipe. Alimentum, I know the recipe. But this is new. I haven't seen that before. Just like I hadn't seen that before. And it's from, oh, that's why. It's from Thalmic Tinker. That's what the TT is. And apparently you don't know that it's from Thalmic Tinker until you actually get it. So let's see if we can find some other stuff. So let's figure out how we want to go about. Now you can only really go to points that are blinking, right? That's really because you have to either have connected to find that research, or these are the starting ones, right? Well, let's do this one because I know this one's really cool. Let's see if we can figure this out, right? Chances are on our way we're probably gonna head up this line. It's kind of hard not to. But let's try to get this, right? And I know what it is, but I'll show you guys how to figure stuff out. So let's just go with something random, right? Or look at the aspects, and what do we have a lot of? Well, we have a lot. This will work. This has 3 aspects. We have a lot of it. So it'll give us a good chance to get something out of it, right? So there we go. Fire. So we don't know what we're getting, but we know we're researching something we don't know. So fire, magic tallow, and let's see. Earth is not in it. Solemn's not in it. Ignis. So magic tallow. What else could be in magic tallow? What do we have a lot of? Let's see. I don't know what magic tallow is, so let's see. Arrows? Let's try arrows. And basically what you do is you just try things. And nope. So tell them which is on arrows, is not in this recipe. And that's how you know. So let's try something else. Let's try rotten flesh. Okay, rotten tallow has one of these two aspects. So corpus, that's the body. So now we can, now we completed it. Let's go ahead and learn this one here. Let's go ahead and try again. Let's start with this, right? Let's see if there's anything else that we can get off of rotten flesh. No. See, when you start going through items like this and you're not getting anything, and they're not gonna go gray, because you have no research that you're working on. But if you click this and you don't get a research note here, just by clicking it once, then stop. Go ahead and switch to something else, because what that means is that there's nothing containing that element that's attached to anything that you already know, right? So let's find something else. We can go ahead and throw that back. Let's start with netherrack again. Let's see. That does have 3 different elements, and they kind of go, nope, across a broad spectrum. Let's try, nope. There we go. There's something. What do we have? Oh, it's some type of metal. I don't want to use my aluminum then. And let me show you guys a good way to figure out metals. If you know it's going to have metal in it, then what you want to go ahead and do is get yourself nuggets. Iron nuggets work. The reason that you want to do nuggets is because 1 iron bar is 3 nuggets. Sorry, 9 nuggets. So would you rather use up the nuggets slowly or the iron ingots really fast? It's really fast to go through a whole stack. But if you're going through a whole stack of nuggets, well, that's not a big deal. And you can see you still get quite a bit of research. Okay, so we know we're at about 50% basic transmutation. Okay, so we know that there's metal in it. Okay, by studying the rudiments of alchemy and the properties of metals, so there we go, metals, you think you might have stumbled upon a way to transform base metals into gold. Well, let's see what we're looking to get. We're looking to get gold, right? We're going to transmute metal into gold. Well, gold has metal and another aspect on it, and that's that goblet. Well, I don't want to use. You know what? A good way to actually do this, because we know we're trying to get gold, so I can almost guarantee that that other element is in the recipe. The problem is you can't get it from gold nuggets. So either, because nuggets only count as metal, any nugget. So either we can use gold bars, or let's see if we can find another source. And we can just research through here. You can, go pretty quickly normally. Oh, lapis. We have a lot of lapis. We don't need a lot to use. But it has the charis, expensive, precious, valuable. See? I figured it was in here. And when you get to a certain percentage, it'll not only show you the other aspect, but it'll show you what it is. One percentage will show you the number of aspects, another percentage will show you what they all are. So now we know permutatio, exchange, change, barter. I happen to know what's a good source of permutatio, and that's actually seeds. Just about any kind of seeds. Barley, regular seeds, cotton seeds. I think if we had any pumpkin seeds, melon seeds. So just you know, any kind of seeds are really good for that permutation, that exchange. I'm gonna use cotton because I don't really plan on growing cotton. I don't actually need it anymore now that I have spiders spawning all over the place. So basic transmutation, and there we go. So that's how you do research that you don't know. Is you know, you try to figure out what the item what the item's description, what elements might be in it. In this case, to make gold, you need to make 2 gold nuggets, you need 2 metal and 1 precious. So basically, if I wanted to make this, right, the best thing to do would be 2 nuggets, 1 lapis. And that's because lapis has earth and the precious. I don't remember what it's called. And then 2 iron would have the metal. Now obviously you can't just put it in a crafting grid. You do have to, whenever you're crafting anything that does not specifically say, you know, fusion altar, it'll tell you what you need to put it in. In this case, crucible. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how to make that. Just like I did the nitor there. Oop. No, not a bucket. And it didn't go in. There we go. And to get the item that you want, you have to right click it with a wand. So now I got 2 gold nuggets. Doesn't really help me, but say I was really low on gold and Thaumcraft was the only mod that I had installed, or I didn't have any other way to get gold, then you could turn metal nuggets and lapis into gold. So I'm going to do some more research, and I'm going to come back when we get to build something really cool. Okay guys, I did a little more research. Oops, not what I meant to do. I did a little bit more research. I went up the basic transmutation, you know, got a couple of those. Eventually, from going through the metals, which I think there might be a couple more, I'm not sure if they're pop up here. I got thaumium. It's kind of a random, you know, if you can unlock it, and some things have the same aspect, it's kind of random on which one you get. But I finally got thaumium, which is really cool. It's a magical metal, right? And it can be used to craft tools and things like that. And here's the tools. Now these are used in other recipes later, and they have special properties. Ooh, that's kind of cool. The thaumium armor I haven't seen before. Now these have a high enchantability. They're basically enchant like gold, but I think they have the higher durability, like iron, or maybe even better. So let's make a couple of these. So we need 8 metal and 4 magic. Well, I have a source of metal, right? And this has magic on it. Now, if I really wanted to be good, right? What you would normally do is you'd search for something that, see, this has magic on it, but that's the same one. This one has magic on it, right? And it's only 2, but see all those other aspects we don't need. We just need the magic, right? Same thing with this. This has a whole bunch we don't need. So normally you would look for something like, there we go. The only extra is going to be the crystal. So normally you would try to find the best fit. But right now, for demonstration purposes, I actually want to not. So let's go ahead and make a couple of thaumium. And that was 8 to 4. So the way I like to normally do it is these are 1, right? So I like to, when I'm making a couple sets, just lay them out, right? So that way it makes it really easy. So now we have 8, 8, 8, 8. 8. And I'm just going to make these here. 8. Okay. And to 4. So these have 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. So that'll make it really easy for me to make 6 sets. Now, one thing to keep in mind is it does require 5V. Well, I could go throw them in there, click it with the wand. Throw another set in there, click with the wand. Throw another set in there, click it with the wand. However, each one takes 5V. Well, this one has 50V. So what we can do is, so this is 5, this is 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Well, we can do that. This has 50, right? So we can go ahead and group everything up. And I'm not double clicking because I don't want to grab these that are over here, right? We have these measured out. So now we have 6 batches all in one, and it's only going to take up 30. So let's go ahead and throw those in. There goes the crystals, and there goes the nuggets. And if we right click with our wand, we used up 30V, and we now have 6 thaumium. Now I'm hoping that the bad effects, I can get those to manifest, so I can show you what happens when you use too much magic or you dump too much aspects that you don't need into the atmosphere. So let's go ahead and start on the next part that we're going to need, right? So we have the thaumium. Well, one thing that I was researching to do with the thaumium is we need the magical building blocks. So those are, you get 8 of them with 4 thaumium and 5 stone, right? And you need to use the arcane work table. You can't use just any work table. Like I can't pull up the crafting grid here and watch. So if I try doing that, it just doesn't do anything, right? So you have to use the arcane work table, and the reason is because it requires 20V to make 8, and you're bound by the same things. You can only use as much as in your wand. So we could make 2 sets, but I just need 1 for right now. So there we go. So, and you can tell it used up the V. Now this will recharge, and that actually helps the negative effects too. So you got to be careful what you're dumping into the atmosphere, and you got to be careful how much you're sucking out of the V, right? Which is like the magical aura, and we'll be able to see it here in a little bit, and I'll show you how. So this. One thing that you can do with this from the Thaumcraft, so we go ahead and click on this, we know the arcane work table. These are the magical building blocks. So, or we know we can make the stone bricks, the stone blocks. We can make arcane wood block, more arcane wood block. These are just if you use great logs. These are just any other wood, and it does require V as well. Or, what's this? By placing the 4 stone blocks as they're shown and infusing them with V, the wave of your wand, the stones will merge together into an infusion altar. That's really cool. So let's go ahead and try it. Bam. So now what's this? This is the next level of our crafting, right? this takes you can put your items in here, like, let's see, we had the gaseous glowstone, right? So we need glowstone, glass vials, nitor. We know that the glass vials we can make. So let's go ahead and I actually already have some glass vials. So one of those. Let's do some glowstone. I know I have. There we go. And what was the other thing? Nitor, which I have downstairs. Okay. Nitor, glowstone. Yep. And we do it in the infusion altar. So let's go ahead and grab the nitor. And I'm going to put the arcane blocks in here. This is really why I'm keeping this chest here, is this is going to be magic specific, Thaumcraft specific. I'm not going to really need it in my base. So, this here, and I believe those should stay there. And then let's go ahead and we need 2 glowstone. 1, no, I think it's like this. 1, 2. Okay, so now you see something changed. This popped up, right? And so this popped up. What does that mean? Well, we need 8 aura. Well, how do you pump, you know, how do you pump essences into this table? Well, you do it the same way we were doing it before. You still have to use a crucible. Now, let's see if we can get some of that aura that's basically wind. Let's see if we have anything, and I think I know what has some of that on it. Aluminum. So we need 8. Right, now we're going to be dumping some metal into the environment, but sometimes you just can't help it. Oh, I didn't mean to separate it, but that's okay. So we need 8. Was that right? 8. And you can see on the recipe here, it'll tell you. So 8 aura. And that's, oh, okay, so we only needed 4. So now we'll throw these in here. And hopefully, the way I built this, hopefully this is close enough so that my infusion altar will know that there's some in the area. Oh, right, the wand. Remember, this recipe, let me pull it up here. This recipe that we're doing, what recipe? This recipe. This recipe here requires 5V. So we have all the ingredients. The aura is there, but it's not showing us that it's able to suck it into the table. We still need V. So we put our wand in here. And now you can see now this is lit up. So now it means it has all the ingredients it needs, it has the V it needs, it has the aspects it needs. And we can pull out our item. Now it does use the V, and in the table it should recharge. There might be an issue with the node. Well, it's recharging right in our hand. So let's go ahead and check this gaseous glowstone out, and then I think we do need to wrap up this episode. So let's see if I clear away a couple of these, because it's supposed to be like an invisible light, right? So if I clear up a couple of these, let's see what happens if I click it here. That's cool. That's pretty cool. It just kind of leaves little sparkles, right? So we don't have to have it up here, right? I'm not gonna replace all of them down there. But this is supposed to be our magic tower. So up here, I don't want these blue things, right? That's why I changed these lights in here, and so we're going to use gaseous glowstone outside. Now I do have a couple more. So let me pull them up here. I actually made 2 more. Okay, so let's go ahead and come over here and what about right here? So that nothing's gonna spawn there. What about here? That takes care of this area. Let's see if we still, yep, looks like we still need at least one right there. So we're gonna go ahead and replace all of these, right? I want it so that I don't have to worry about any of them, and make sure that things don't spawn. So I'll go ahead and do that between this episode and next, and with that, I will see you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone counts, and feel free to leave any comments on any of the videos. I do try to read them all, and if I can, respond. And with that, I will see you guys later.